Welcome po, welcome to Lira in Law, broadcasting live from London, England, every Thursday evening from 7:30 to 8:30 p.m., talking about legal issues that concern you, and of course, always with practical tips. And tonight will not be different. Ako pong host nyo, ang pangalan ko po, Lira Simon Kabatbat of Douglas Simon Sisters. We are lawyers in London, England. We're based in the leafy suburb of Richmond, no? Near Richmond Park. Actually, we're very near Richmond Park. No, Douglas Simon Solicitors have been established for over actually I think we're 28 years now. In fact, so well over 25 years na kami. So quarter of a century, quarter of a century plus actually. I'm even worse in a way, no? I've been a qualified solicitor. So hindi nga kasama nung pag-aaral at saka training, qualified solicitor. Been in practice for 32 years, so over 3 decades. And nudging to 33 years next year. I think it's February, I think next year, my 33rd year. So so it's I've been doing this a long time, and it never gets stale. Yung law, especially immigration law, which is more often than not yung topic nga natin. It's always interesting, and that's putting it mildly. Especially nga this year, last year, absolutely. Anyway. Immigration has been fast moving, alongside the area of family law, which I also touch on. It's never boring. That definitely never boring. So if you're looking to take up law because you don't want to get bored in your career path, definitely ito. And the area of law that you should specialize in, at least at the moment nga, is immigration, because it's fast moving. It's certainly very interesting, and you can really help nga. And this is why we do it. No, and this is why we do our broadcast on a Thursday nga, in the hopes that we can pass on nga information, especially practical information that assists people, especially mga kababayan nga natin dito, hindi nga lang dito sa London, no, everywhere really, where you have questions about English law, especially nga immigration. So I hope that you will enjoy tonight, as I always do. Those of you who always join me, and there are fair few of you, salamat po, no? You know that I do like discussing immigration areas of law, especially nga the relevant areas of law that affect a lot of people today, and then that's what it is really. That's the thing with law, and you would hope at least that law should be relevant, and that is what we aim to do, during our broadcast now, to make law try and explain a little bit, and certainly try and explain how relevant certain issues now are to you. So hopefully you enjoy it. Now, speaking of topics, ang topic po natin ngayon is children's sole responsibility in immigration law. So sole responsibility is a huge topic. You would think can't be that difficult, right? Sole responsibility, so it's like people often sometimes refer to it parental responsibility, but it's not actually correct necessarily. But sole responsibility, you would think, as I say, that it's an easy or simple issue, but it really is not. So pag-uusapan po natin ngayon, again, just to ensure nga that it has practical leanings, is titingnan po natin yung guidance nga mismo. So this is from the Home Office. It was last updated in June 2024. So only a few months old. It's the update nga. Hindi naman ganong mahaba. So we'll go through that, and I will pick out certain issues and discuss them and apply them, of course, to make it practical. So we're going to unpack it a little bit, or unpack it a lot, and then discuss nga what can you do to show to not fall foul of certain requirements, certain conditions, and what can you do to try and address it. So kung may problema nga, if you've made an application that's been refused, for example, what can you do in order to address the points of concerns? And so as I say, always nga, It's going to be towards always practical tips, always practical leanings nga, no? So marami tayong topic, malaking topic nga natin, pero marami din tayong topic nga ngayon dahil ang dami nating questions. And the questions are actually really great. It goes from maternity, statutory sick pay, to skilled worker route, ability to work, changing employment nga, British Nationality Act, especially in relation to children. So I hope you will also stay tuned up for our great questions. No, now, so yung pong topic nga natin, I hope that you will be able to join me throughout nga. And if you that you will, I'm afraid that this is the problem with the live shows. You can tell it's live nga, because for some strange reason, my light keeps going on and off. So suddenly, I mean, kind of it's light darkened space, but anyway, it doesn't matter. So as long as you can hear me, and you don't even necessarily need to see me, but as long as you can hear me, then we will plow on. So when the light suddenly goes off, don't think that I'm in a disco room or anything like that. It's just my light. I don't know why it's playing up. Let's not worry about it. So we're going to take nga lang a short break. Saglit nga lang po. And we're coming back, and then we're going to launch into children, immigration, and of course, sole responsibility in topic natin. Saglit lang po. Welcome back, po. Welcome back to Lira in Law. Saying hello and good evening po sa inyong lahat. Thank you very much for joining me. Oh, by the way, kung meron kayong mga comments, meron kayong mga questions, I mean, we have lots of questions na mamaya, pero kung meron mga comments at kung gusto nyo bumati, please do. I mean, I always say, because it's true, no? My favorite part of the show is yung batian section, which is gonna come later. So you still have time to say hello. Okay, I know there are a few people nga who are already queuing up to say hello. Thank you very much. No, but okay, maya, just say hello. Okay. Now, ang topic po natin ngayon, as I've said, is children application in immigration, specifically to do with sole responsibility. So, where do you go to see what does that mean? No, sole responsibility. A lot of my clients, ang una lang question sa akin ano ibig sabihin sole responsibility? With most issues nga in immigration, ang payo ko po, tignan nyo yung guidance. No? Immigration guidance are so easily accessible on the Home Office website. You can even just Google it. No? You can say, children application or sole responsibility application, Home Office or UKBA, for example. So Home Office guidance. And then you'll find that a link comes through. And as I say, there's usually guidance for most applications. Certainly for children applications nga, there's a massive guidance nga. And that was updated, as I say, in June 2024. So, ang gagawin po natin, ang proseso nga ngayon, if you can bear with me and read with me, the guidance, hindi naman gaano mahaba eh. And then from the guidance, I picked out, I think, five issues that are of particular concerns to my clients. No, either yung mga taong nagpapasok na application o meron silang refusal. Okay, so that just means that so the guidance is really where you go. You should go first. I mean, really, kung abogado nga kayo, you should go to the law first. Of course, the statute, for example, that sets out the law. But you may find that's not perhaps detailed enough, and it may not be also practical enough. So what often is helpful is tingnan nyo nga yung guidance. So, we're going to go through the guidance. And as I say, we'll read through it very quickly. Tapos titingnan nga natin yung mga issues that I will highlight nga, things to beware about. So, tingnan nga natin to. So this is the guidance on applying. It's called Appendix Children. For obvious reasons, it's to do with children. So yung mga caseworkers, itong titingnan nila. This is their guidance. So yung mga caseworkers na magdidesisyon nga sa application ng bata, no, ng anak nyo, this is actually the document they will look at. So I can't stress enough how important it is. And there's a big chunk on this about sole responsibility. So as I said, it was only updated in June 2024, so it's regularly updated. Anong sabi? So let's just plow through it very, very quickly. And as I say, I'll emphasize certain issues. So this is from the Home Office guidance itself. Oh? So sabi po nila dito, sole parental responsibility means that one parent is unknown or has abdicated or abandoned parental responsibility, and the other parent is exercising sole control in setting and providing the day-to-day direction and care for the child's welfare. In assessing whether the applicant has sole parental responsibility for a child, you must consider any evidence provided to show that. So first bullet point nga nila, decisions have been taken and actions performed in relation to the upbringing of the child under the sole direction of one parent. Point two, only one parent is responsible for the child's welfare and for what happens to them in key areas of the child's life, and the other parent does not share this responsibility for the child. And one parent has sole responsibility for making decisions regarding the child's education, health and medical treatment, religion, residence, holidays, and recreation, protecting the child and providing them with appropriate direction and guidance. If this evidence is not provided with the application, you can contact the applicant to request it. That's my point one. That's my issue one. No, I've highlighted that now in red. We're going to go back to that because that unfortunately can trip up some people, no? So babalik tayo doon now. And then it goes on to say, the guidance goes on to say that note that sole responsibility is not the same as sole legal custody. Okay, a parent may have sole legal custody for a child where the parent is still involved in the child's life. And then point two, making significant or even sole financial provision for a child does not in itself demonstrate sole parental responsibility. That's our issue number two. Babalik tayo doon. Again, one of the issues that trip up quite a few of my clients, resulting sometimes to refusal of an application, and then of course that's when I'm instructed on appeal. Now, and then another bullet point is sabi doon, where both parents are involved in the child's upbringing, it will be rare, for one parent to establish sole parental responsibility. And then it goes on to say sole parental responsibility can be recent. I highlighted that because that's our issue number three, or long-standing. Any recent change or arrangements should be scrutinized to make sure you're satisfied this is genuine. If you think it necessary, you should contact both the applicant's parents for more information. Then it goes on to say, and this is the practical bit now, it is unrealistic for a child to have contact with no other adult other than the parent exercising the sole parental responsibility. You would think it's obvious, but it is pointed out. The child is likely to have contact with other adults, including relatives, and they may provide some element of care for the child, either generally or specifically, such as taking the child to school. Actions of this kind can that include looking after the child's welfare may be shared with others who are not parents. Okay, for example, relatives or friends who are available in a practical sense. Okay, providing the parent has sole overall responsibility for the welfare of the child. Now, you are not considering, sabi dito, whether the child's a parent or anyone else. That's issue number 4, okay? has day-to-day responsibility to the child for the child, but whether the parent has continuing sole control and direction of the child's upbringing, including making all the important decisions in the child's life. If not, then they do not have sole parental responsibility for the child. You must carefully consider whether each application. You must carefully consider each application on a case-by-case basis. The burden of proof is on the applicant, okay, to provide satisfactory evidence that a parent has sole responsibility. And then goes on to say, for entry clearance, saglit na nga lang, we're nearly at the end of this bit. For entry clearance cases, it may be necessary to use local intelligence, issue number 5, okay? Pag-usapan natin yon, relating to the applicant's home country or location to advise on what evidence you should expect to see or what is likely to be available that you could reasonably ask for, as well as how much weight to give to particular types of evidence. Country-specific information can be found in the country of origin information or via the relevant UK Embassy or High Commission staff. If you're not satisfied that one of the child's parents has sole responsibility, you should consider whether there are serious and compelling reasons to grant the child's application. Okay, that's a different, if you like, another issue that in itself is a big issue also. Okay, what does that all mean? No? Let's unpack it nga. Now, note 1, yung issue 1 natin. Okay? Sabi doon, if this evidence is not provided with the application, you can contact the applicant to request it. Emphasis on can. Now, it doesn't say you must. It doesn't say you should. Okay? It just says you can. No? That means, tip ko ito, well, this my experience is they don't have to, and oftentimes they don't. Na, anong ibig sabihin yun? So, kung hindi ka nagbigay ng sapat ng mga dokumento, sapat ng ebidensya na talagang meron kayong sole responsibility sa bata, they don't have to, they can, but they don't have to ask for additional information. So, anong mangyayari? They will simply refuse it. And the refusal will just say, insufficient evidence provided that you have sole responsibility. Okay? So, do not ever rely on the Home Office to ask you for the documents. It is for you, and it said so also, no, sa guidance nga. It is on the applicant. The burden is on the applicant to certainly provide the documents. So it's for you to submit the documents. No? Do not rely on the Home Office to ask you, because they rarely do. No? Tip. Okay? Yung nga, sabi ko, make sure you have the documents nga when you're uploading it. Hindi don't rely on the Home Office to ask you. So ang tip ko, what I always do for my clients nga is statements. Pagka nagpasok ako ng application para sa mga bata, especially kung mga bata ay teenager na, especially later on, no 16, 17 nga, obviously before 18 years, no, then I prepare a statement. So sinasabi ko doon background nga, no, kailan kayo umalis sa Pilipinas, kung galing kayo sa Pilipinas or from anywhere else, no, anong ginagawa niyo nga dito, how do you keep contact with the child, how do you exercise your sole responsibility. So for example nga, kung nasa eskwela nga yung bata, one would hope, no, nasa eskwela nga siya, who made that choice, no, yung eskwela nga. Kung may sakit yung bata, kung nakakasakit siya, who authorizes that they should be taken out to the hospital, no? O sa doktor nga nila. Hindi nga lang na kayong nagbabayad. Come back to that nga. Pero importante po yung statements are king when you're making applications nga to the Home Office. That it gives the Home Office nga a fuller account of because it gives background nga and it addresses the issues specifically. Do not be tempted to write a melodramatic statement. Maiinis nga lang sila. Be factual but also address the points. Ito, ang point nga nito, sole responsibility. Titingnan nga nila, how long have you been away from the country? How have you kept up in touch with your child, no? Ngayon, dati, nung bata pa ako, no, that was a long time ago, it was more difficult to keep contact. But in a way, it was slightly easier to establish nga contact because nagsusulatan tayo, no? But ngayon, a lot of it is done by text, by Facebook, no? And a lot of times, hindi nga, you're not really keeping a record of the contact nga, no? So be careful. So if you're looking to make an application for your child to enter the United Kingdom, print out, your texts. Print out some. So it doesn't have to be all the Facebook accounts. You may not also want to send all the Facebook entries, but print out choice ones. No, one in a week, and you can say to the Home Office also in your statement, you've only printed out certain sections nga, no, to give an idea of the contact, which is at least once a week or twice a week nga, but you can provide many more documents in support. No? You can provide the whole Facebook account if they so wish. So offer it. No? Statements po importante because it sets, as I say, it sets out now the background nga. And that way also you can bring in, the relevant information. So kung wala na yung tatay nila o wala yung nanay nga nila, hindi na nakikialam, then you can also say, you and the parent separated nga whenever, since then hindi na sila nagpapakita, hindi lang na hindi sila nagpapadala, but actually they don't, in fact, they do not even show up on special occasions like your birthday, or maybe they do show up on special occasions pero yun lang. So that is so you have always maintained they've remained in contact, but rare contact or only intermittently nga, but you have sole responsibility. You try and encourage contact. You can even say that. You try and encourage contact with the other parent, pero hindi sila interesado, or they're only taking it up maybe once a year. No? Pero wala silang pakialam sa bata. So you therefore exercise sole responsibility for your child. No? Importante po yun. So statements is my tip there. Now, issue 2, sabi nga doon, making significant or even sole financial provision for child does not in itself demonstrate sole parental responsibility. Absolutely. This I get a lot, no? Ang sinasabi ng mga magulang sa akin, well, hindi ko maintindihan. Bakit na sabi nila wala akong sole responsibility? Akong nagbibigay, akong bahala sa lahat sa bata, ako nagpapadala ko lagi, buwan-buwan o weekly nagpapadala ko, ako nagbabayad ng bahay nila, kuryente, tubig, pagkain, eskwela. I have sole responsibility. No. And it's a bit of a blow when I say to clients nga, no, it's not enough to show money. Okay? Kailangan yung pakita more than that. Of course, kung nagpapadala kayo, definitely show that. But hindi nga lang po yun. You need to be able to also show nga that on a weekly basis, tinatawagan nyo sila. Kung bata pa sila, then tinatawagan yung nanay nyo. So kung lola nga nag-aalaga, to just ensure that the child's okay. Recently, meron siyang sipon. So sabi nyo, she should be taken nga to the doctor, and that in fact had happened. So describe it. So do not simply rely nga on the money. Tip. Okay? Because the reality is it is the, if you like, a pretty substantial evidence nga, and that is financial provision, that indicate sole responsibility. So ang tip ko po ito, kung nagpapadala kayo sa atin, and that's probably the case for 90% nga of people dito, in your statement, going back to your statement, calculate how much you paid, especially kung malaking binabayad nyo, o pinapadala nyo sa atin. So calculate it. Maybe take the last 12 months, if you've been here a long time, and if you have remittances going beyond that, fine. Especially kung matatanda na yung mga bata. By that I mean late teens, So you can say, I've been in the United Kingdom for the last 5 years or the last 10 years. During that time, I've been remitting monies to my child at a rate of kung ano man. pero kailangan ebidensya. So you can but calculate it. You will be surprised. And actually, one client of mine, not too long ago, binigyan niya ako ng remittances. Unfortunately, yung application ng bata was refused. So she, on sole responsibility. So she came to me for the appeal nga. So I looked at her remittances. Wow, she could have bought a house, okay, or at least a very, very expensive car. And that was just the last, I think it was last 5 years, no? Or remittances. So ginawa ko, and siya, the good thing is she's put all the remittances receipts nga aside. So I noted it down. So makikita, kung nagpapadala ka sa Pilipinas, you will usually have the pesos and the pounds, no? And I had separate columns, pesos and pounds, and of course yung mga pecha. And don't forget, ang pecha sa atin, of course, baliktad, no? It's Americanized nga. So make sure that you put, because you're making of course, either you're making an application to the Home Office or indeed appealing, make sure that you don't get the dates or the month and day wrong, okay? Because that can cause confusion. Now, so it's and when I calculated it, my client said, "Oh, well, okay, that explains why I don't have any savings." So write it down. It's for you to explain it to them. It's for you to explain it to them. Now, note 3 po, no? Yung sabi nga doon, sole responsibility can be recent. Now, so ito po, some clients of mine, it doesn't come about too often, but akala nila, if they only recently took over only had recently sole responsibility, sabihin natin, dati, yung okay pa kayo ng asawa nyo, no? Nagpapadala kayo, paano nagpapadala din siya. Tapos, for whatever reason, no longer, he no longer or she no longer does that. Ikaw na, no? Maybe that only happened in the last 12 months. You know? Maybe they had then a new relationship or a new family, hindi na nga nangyayari, hindi na sila nagpapadala, hindi na sila nagpapakita. O kahit nagpapadala sila, hindi na nga sila nagpapakita. Now, so you had only fairly recently sole responsibility. I've had clients say, well, akala ko dahil hindi ako in charge nga, no, from the time nga na umalis ako sa Pilipinas, akala ko hindi ko na pwedeng dalhin dito yung bata. Mali po yun. Okay? You can. It doesn't have to be throughout, but you do need to explain it. So you will have a bit more explaining to do. So going back to the same thing, statement po, yung statement nyo, again, you can put in there, ano bang nangyari, no? You can certainly say, and you should be frank. You can certainly say, up until 12 months ago, I actually shared responsibility with my husband or my wife, but over the last 12 months, I've had sole responsibility because, no? Explain nyo, okay? Kailangan nyo ding ebidensya. So kung nagpapadala kayo dati ng 100 pounds per month, no, you were sharing, ngayon, kailangan nyo magpadala ng 300 pounds a month because everything is on you. Explain that. Okay? This is also evidenced by the remittances that I'm sending to my child now. I've attached these. Explain nyo again to the statement. Okay? On the statement. Note 4, or anyone else. Okay? So tingnan nyo sa guidance, or anyone else. Now, and this is something that trips up a lot of people. You can have joint responsibility and therefore not sole responsibility for your child with someone else other than the parent. So ibig pong sabihin, kahit wala nang pakialam yung asawa nyo, no? Hindi na siya nagpapakita, kung ang lola, sabihin natin lola, kung lola siyang nagdidesisyon sa mag-aaral ng bata, kung may sakit, siyang nagdidesisyon kung dadalhin nga siya sa hospital, o kayong nagpapadala, no? Pero siya din nagdesisyon nga saan titira yung bata. Ibig pong sabihin, and likely, the Home Office will say you have joint responsibility. No? Kahit hindi nga siya magulang, kailangan niyo mag-ingat. Now, going back to the same thing, I see this worryingly often actually in refusals, no? Somehow we, especially applications from the Philippines, no? We often refer to auntie, lola, lolo as guardians. Okay? It's just sa atin, it's just our way of saying, well, no, nandun sila, kung may kailangan, silang pinupuntahan ko, silang inuutusan ko na magdala na asikasuhin nga yung bata, dalhin sa hospital, ganoon. But mali po yun. Never ever refer to anyone else as the guardian, no? If in fact they're not the guardian, as in they've not been appointed by the court as a guardian. Dito, guardian is a legal standing. So huwag yung gagamitin guardian, no, when you're preparing statements. So often I see, and the child's being looked after by my mother, who I've appointed as her guardian, no, from the time that I left the country. Immediately, I would say that is red flag to the Home Office. Sabihin nila, in that case, there's joint responsibility here, no? So again, you're likely to face refusal. Okay. Note 5, local intelligence. This is one that's, I would say, relatively new, kinda in the last siguro 5 years, maybe a little longer, 10 years nga. But since the popularity, I suppose, of social media, well, okay, social media has been popular for longer than 10 years. But for the Home Office, the way they've used this local intelligence has been probably increased. It has increased in the last 10 years, and certainly in the last 5, I see this a lot, no? So, anong ibig ng sabihin ng local intelligence? Ano bang titingnan nila? What are they going to investigate yung Home Office nga? What could be local intelligence? Ang napapansin ko po, no? They actually go through the social media, no? Of course, if it's public, makikita nga nila. And if they find, and they often do, no? I mean, social media, especially mga bata, they use, I don't know, ewan ko kung uso pang Facebook nga ngayon sa mga bata, but they use all sorts of social media nga. And one refusal I saw particularly is yung kliyente ko, sabi niya, no, walang contact nga yung bata sa ama niya. In fact, hindi nga siya nagpapakita. What the Home Office then did is they went through social media. In this case, actually, it was Facebook, no? And they, in fact, found that there were posts, no, from the child's father, regular posts. So they refused it on that basis. That, in fact, the responsibility was clearly joint, and they referred to the posts, the social media posts. And in fact, they went further than that. Sabi nila, nagsinungaling daw yung kliyente ko. So that can be a real difficulty, when you're challenging it, because the Home Office is essentially saying, no, you were dishonest, and that can mean pretty serious repercussions on appeal. Also, could be that your appeal is also refused. So ingat nga kayo. Because they're not beyond. Wala naman. Back again, the light. So anyway, so it's so local intelligence. When they say local intelligence, they actually usually mean social media posts. So it is something that they look at, no? So again, so responsibility for it's I would say maybe. Recently, I would say mga 80% of refusals, maybe higher, is on sole responsibility. So it's that important. So yung nga po, tingnan nyo yung guidance, as I've said, no? And alam ko, mahaba nga yung guidance. You don't have to read the whole thing, no? But focus po, kung mag-isa nga lang kayo, wala yung tatay o wala yung nanay, yung bata nga lang kukunin nyo nga dito, nandito na nga kayo, you've had a visa for a long time. Finally, you're in a position to apply for your child to join you in the United Kingdom. Ingat nga kayo. This sole responsibility can prove a difficulty. In fact, the main difficulty when applying for children to join you in the United Kingdom. So ingat nga kayo. Because this is also, sole responsibility is probably also the hardest one to rebut. No? Because it's unlike money. No, kung sabihin nila, hindi sa na pera nyo, hindi mo sila masusustento nga dito, o walang bahay. that's easier to rebut because you can say, oh no, hindi yan tama. Meron kaming tenancy agreement, okay? O kaya itong income ko. So it's pero sole responsibility is one of those it's just you can't, there's not one document that you can show them, no? Na meron kayong nga sole responsibility. So ingat. But as I say, if you don't take anything else away from today, ang payo ko po, ang most important tip ko is really your statement. Prepare a statement. Importante nga po yun. Now, I hope that you enjoyed that. I always enjoy talking about sole responsibility because it's such an interesting area of law, and it's actually quite a challenging one. No, it's never boring, as I say, definitely never boring. Now, so comes now my favorite part of the show, and I hope that you have I hope you've been able to say hello at least, no? And if you haven't yet said hello to me, huwag kayong mahiya. Say hello, okay? Now, tingnan natin. I think I'm pretty sure we have some greeters. Oh, Miss Paner and I have been together for so long from the beginning. Sorry, Miss Paner. That's my light saying hello to you. On, off. I can't understand it. It's going bonkers, my light. Anyway, it's saying hello to you, Miss Paner. Hello po, sabi niya. Hello, attorneys. At sa lahat, happy Thursday po. Stay safe always. God bless. God bless, Miss Paner. I hope you're well. I hope you're inside, no? Ang lamig na, no? I mean, it's the first week of October, but it feels cold. It feels cold. I don't actually remember summer anymore. There you go. There. Hi, Miss Paner. I hope you're well. Gigi! Hello, Gigi! Gigi Elaparo. Good evening, Attorney Lira, and all viewers. Have lovely Thursday, everyone. All the best. Yeah, to you too. Kamusta ka, Gigi? I hope you're well, no? And again, I hope, like Miss Paner, I hope that you and Miss Paner are both inside, either eating. Hindi pa ako kumakain. Kumain na kayo? I haven't eaten yet. I'm a bit hungry, actually. But I'm always hungry, no? Most of you who know me will know I'm always eating. Oh, Arlene Acerada. Good evening, Attorney Lira. Happy Thursday. God bless. God bless, Arlene. Are you well? I hope you're well. I like the picture. No? Looking good. Egay the guy. We love Egay the guy. Oh, happy Thursday to Attorney Lira and to the viewers. Yeah, working from the office today. Ooh, sorry, Egay. Looking forward to lots of learning again, and to Attorney Lira's lovely voice. Egay the guy. Egay the guy. He really is lovely. No, actually we should call him Egay the lovely guy, because he really is. No, committed dad to Justin. No. He's a good guy. He really, really is. Oh, Miss Nadella, Risa Nadella, no? Good evening, Attorney Lira. Good evening po, Madam. Kamusta? I hope you are inside, no? But you're always working hard. You're probably outside working, no? She never stops, Miss Nadella. No? Kamusta po? You well? I hope you're well, no? I hope you're inside in the warmth. Ma'am Cora. We love Ma'am Cora. Ma'am Cora, like Miss Paner, has been with me pretty much from the outset, no? Which is during COVID. So we must have our anniversary soon. I'm gonna look it up. Magandang gabi, sabi po ni Ma'am Cora. Magandang gabi, our beloved Attorney Lira. At lahat, many thanks again for the very nice topic tonight. Children's sole responsibility. Just shows you, talagang nanonood siya. She's logged on, Ma'am Cora. She's lovely, Ma'am Cora. She really is. Oh, you can see also, she's lovely inside and out. She's really, she's so hardworking, Ma'am Cora. She's really lovely. She really, really is. Oh, Miss Rafael. Ooh, lovely flowers there, Miss Rafael. Miss Rafael is one of my faves also. And she's feeling good because tingnan nyo, she's all in caps. Miss Rafael hails from Wimbledon. Hello, good evening, Attorney Lira, sabi niya. And happy Thursday to everyone and stay safe. Ikaw nga din, Miss Rafael, no? Miss Rafael is a traveler, no? You cannot, she's watching, sabi niya, watching from home in Wimbledon, no? So, but she's rarely home, Miss Rafael. Miss Rafael is a traveler, as I say. And I hope to follow in her footsteps. I should travel a little bit more, no? I don't travel enough. Miss Panes, sabi niya, "Hi po, Attorney Lira. I'm really enjoying to watch your informative topic every Thursday night. We miss you po, Attorney Lira. I'm doing well po. Thank you so much. Thank you for keeping me company, Miss Panes. And truly, I'm pretty sure you and I we were together from probably the beginning of my broadcasts, no? Which is COVID, no? Di ba umpisa natin to during COVID? So COVID was what, 2020, no? Beginning of 2020, di ba? 2024 na tayo. So next year, Ms. Paner, and a lot of our viewers, no? We will have probably our 5th year anniversary. I'm gonna look it up. Now, I think that's it for the moment for greeters nga. But if you want to say hello, it's never too late. Do say hello. Okay? Now, we normally have a commercial nga this time, but because we have so many questions and big ones, I will skip the commercial because I think it's more important that we discuss nga your questions. So we want to allocate as much time as we possibly can nga to your questions. So, tingnan nga natin to. Question 1. Let me just see dito. Sorry, sandali lang. I'm messed up with my my notes nga dito. Okay, question 1. So, sabi po niya dito, nasa Pinas po ako at kasalukuyang 7 months pregnant. Oh, congratulations. Hindi na po ako makakabalik ng UK dahil naka-bed rest po ako. Oh, no, keep safe, ha? May work na po ako sa UK as a retailer. Babalik po dapat ako ng first week ng September. Kaso, hindi na po ako nakakabalik dahil nagpasa na po ako ng sick note galing sa OBGYN ko when it states na I really need to have bed rest. Okay? Sinend ko po sa HR namin, sa manager, yung letter ko kasi wala daw po akong magiging sabi po niya, wala daw po akong magiging payment, which is fine with me. Ngayon po, waiting na lang ako ma-approve ang maternity na dapat nung linggo pa na-start, pero wala pa rin daw. Wala pa rin po, sabi niya, until now. Ano pong dapat kong gawin? Okay, so tingnan po natin to. So unang-una, 7 months pregnant ka na, no? Hindi ka pwedeng bumalik sa trabaho dahil sabi ng OBGYN mo, you should not go back because you're unwell, no? So, sinabi nila, nagpasa ka na ng sick note mo, sabi ng trabaho mo, hindi ka na babayaran, no? And you're supposed to go on maternity leave soon anyway. Now, unang-una po, and some of this you know already, no? So, anong batas? Always go, anong batas, okay? So, check if you're eligible for statutory maternity pay. Now, we'll zoom through this because you probably looked into it already. You sabi mo nga, meron ka lang, you should get your maternity pay soon. So, you're entitled, check nga, no? If you're entitled to statutory maternity pay, una. If you're legally classed as an employee, you get statutory maternity pay when both of the following apply. You've been working continuously for 26 weeks for the same employer before the qualifying week. I'll come back to that. You earn at least £123 a week on average for 8 weeks before your qualifying week. And now, only this being qualifying week. The qualifying week is the 15th week before the week the baby is due. So you have to calculate back. No? Now, so, nang ibig sabihin nun, now, ito. If you're entitled to maternity pay, which you probably are, alam mo naman, you can choose to start it either from the 11 weeks before your baby is due or the day that you give birth, for example. So you don't have to take time off immediately. And of course, if you start your maternity on the day you give birth, then you have longer maternity. But anyway, you can start it earlier. And you must tell, of course, your employer that you plan to start maternity leave no later than 15 weeks before your baby is due. Okay. Now, I assume that the answer to all of those is yes from you. Okay. Now, but ang problema, you fall slightly short of the date when your maternity will start. Now, unang-una nga, sabi mo dito, nagpasa ka na ng sick note, sabi nila hindi ka babayaran, okay lang naman yun sa'yo. No, that's actually not quite correct, no? So, can they not pay you? Which is actually what they've said to you, no? Unang-una, tingnan mo yung kontrata mo, no? Is there provision for sick pay? Because even though you're pregnant, but you're fallen sick, you're still sick. So it doesn't mean that just because you're pregnant, you should be treated differently from the others. If they're entitled to sick pay, for example, under contract, you should also. So unang-una, tingnan mo kontrata mo. Pero kahit wala nga dun sa kontrata mo, if it does not allow for sick pay, then you could be entitled to statutory sick pay. Okay? Anong ibig sabihin statutory sick pay? SSP, statutory sick pay, is £116.75 per week. No, that's the new rate from April 2024 until April 2025. Okay, SSP is paid by your employer once you've been off for 4 days or more in a row. Okay, so including non-working days, 4 days in a row. Okay, you do not receive SSP for the first 3 qualifying days. So if you've been off sick for 4 days nga, you should be entitled nga to SSP. It doesn't matter na sa Pilipinas ka nga ngayon. Okay, you're still employed nga in the United Kingdom. So English law, English employment law applies. Okay. But of course, to qualify for SSP, you need to earn at least £123 a week from April 2024 to April 2025, on average in the 8 weeks before you fall ill. SSP is payable for up to 28 weeks. Okay? So, kung konti nga lang iniintay mo, so applying it to your question nga, so nagkasakit ka, pero meron ka ng maternity, iintay mo nga yung maternity mo. In between, may sakit ka, you should still at least get nga SSP, which, as I've said, is £116.75 per week. Nakakatulong. No? Now, you are, of course, entitled to maternity pay. Kung hindi ka nila binabayaran, then they have to be really careful, because maternity, statutory maternity pay or maternity pay, no, it can lead them to hot water, no, kung hindi ka bayaran. So it is important that it's paid to you. Now, what can you do? Ang payo ko, email them. Let me dictate to you what I would suggest you say. And if you don't take it down immediately, play me back, no? And then make a note. So sabihin mo doon, for example, ito. This is certainly how I would do it for my clients nga. So ito, I refer to, ito sasabihin mo sa kanila, I refer to my previous correspondence. Okay? Dahil nag-usap na nga kayo. As you will note, I've been medically advised to take sick leave due to my pregnancy. I was advised by you that I will not be receiving payment for my time off. I should be grateful if you would advise, asking them. Okay? So sinasabi mo sa kanila, can they explain to you? Number 1, I understand that I may be entitled to statutory sick pay, okay, or payment under my contract terms. Is this correct? Okay. If so, please state when I will be paid. So pinapasa niyo sa kanila yung question. So you're not dictating what you think should happen. You're asking them, and you're also asking them to explain why you would not be entitled to SSP. Yeah. My maternity leave, because of course you want to make sure that you get paid during maternity. My maternity leave is due to commence on whenever that would be. Okay, alam mo naman, no? Please advise payments. I'm due to receive for the relevant period. So you're asking them the questions. Okay. And then kung ako ikaw, you're worried about it, I'll give them a deadline. So say, no, I should be grateful to hear from you within 7 days of this email. And make sure you tick the box. There are 2 boxes nga. Pag nagpapada akong email, I usually try and remember. There are 2 boxes that asks that says, read receipt, or delivered receipt. Tick both, because you may need evidence later on if they don't pay you. Maybe you may need evidence to show that you have asked them, you've advised them, hindi nga sila sumagot. Yun ang payo ko. So hopefully that's helpful. Now, let's crack on with the next question, because I'm running late. So question natin. Question 2. Tignan ko. Okay. Hello po, sabi niya, no? Hello po, can I ask for advice, since I have lots of questions in my mind right now? My concern po is yung processing, if ever lilipat ng trust. That when you're making reference to trust, it usually means you're working for the NHS, no, hospital nga. Me and my husband po are both here in the UK. My husband is skilled worker, and yun ang sa kanya naman po is yung sa kanya naman po is dependent visa. So my visa is skilled worker, yung sa kanya is dependent visa. So skilled worker ka, dependent mo yung asawa mo. If lilipat po ako ng trust, do I need to secure po another cost? Dahil magiging bago yung trust, that they will give me the cost. The cost is called, it's short for certificate of sponsorship. Kung nandito kayo as a worker under the skilled worker route nga, kailangan yung cost bago kayo papasok nga dito, the certificate of sponsorship. Or do I need to secure anything from them? Maapektuhan ba ang visa ng husband ko? Also, both of us need to apply for visa again. Okay? So, una nga po ito. So, yun. Possible change of employment, trust. So you're working for a hospital. You're here with your husband who is a dependent. So you need to apply to update your skilled worker or tier 2 general visa if you want to change your job, and your new job is with a different employer. So the answer is yes, you do need a new cost, a new certificate of employment. So yun, as a certificate of sponsorship. Now, as far as your husband is concerned, if you extend, this is actually from the Home Office. Now, if you extend or switch your visa, your partner or child's current visa will still be valid, until its original date. Okay, your partner or child need to apply or extend or switch their visa either at the same time as you, so they can make an application, of course, or at any time before the current visa expires. Most of my clients, they apply at the same time, because usually what happens is pagka nagpalit ka ng visa, nagpalit ka ng employer, you then get yung visa mo, it's also then extended, so the dependents usually also want that, so magkatugma ang visa nyo. So when you apply for indefinite leave to remain, then you both do it at the same time. So unless there's a reason why you would not apply for them now, ang payo ko, you should really, because it's just, as I say, pwede ka mag-apply ng indefinite, kasama na din nga sila. So yun payo ko. So the answer is yes, kailangan mong cost, definitely, and then also yung husband mo, they don't have to, but ang payo ko, they should really. Now, question 3. So I'm gonna try and race through it because we have lots of questions. So sandali nga. So sabi nga niya dito, okay. So I'm due for ILR. ILR means indefinite leave to remain, so settled status this year. Congratulations. And currently on dependent visa ng wife ko. Okay? My wife is already on ILR status, so indefinitely yung asawa niya. I've also been working at Band 5, so nurse ka, for more than 3 years now. Can I use my OET, okay, as evidence to apply for ILR, for indefinite leave to remain, or do I need to take another English test? Wala kasing OET sa list ng approved English tests sa government website. Salamat. Okay, so you're applying for indefinite leave to remain. You have this qualification, English qualification called OET. Do you need the B1, yung tawag, certificate for indefinite leave to remain? OET is that's short for Occupational English Test. Okay, that's usually undertaken by healthcare professional. Now, kailangan mo ba? Do you have an OET? Do you still need to get B1 level? Now, B1, it's a bit confusing with the English qualifications. I think if I'm the Home Office, one of the things I will focus on to avoid confusion is this English language. Ang dami, no? Anyway, you need a B1 level when you're applying for indefinite leave to remain. B1 level is under what's called the Common Reference Level, CEFR, okay, for your ILR. B1 yung level nga, no? Now, you can get your score from your provider. So ito, yung OET mo, let me just have a look. So sandali. If you are you can use a B1, B2, okay, C1 or C2, just to make it more confusing, level qualification. for English language nga. Okay? So ito, the B1, the OET, if your score is between 200 to 240, malalaman mo yon, no? If you scored that, and you probably did because you band 5 nga, no? So if your score is between 200 and 240, that gives you actually a B2 level. Mas mataas yun ng B1. Okay? So you actually would satisfy it, is the quick answer. So you can use it for your indefinite leave to remain. So OET po is if your score is between 200 and 240, is equivalent to B2. B2 is higher than B1, so you can use it. Now, that if you use that in relation to an existing just be careful that you can still use it. It's not expired, okay? But you should be able to use it because you've used it for your qualification. Yeah. So the answer is likely yes. And in fact, it's probably higher than the B1. Now, so tingnan natin. I'm sure we have some more questions. So let me see if I can race through the next questions. I don't want to leave any questions unanswered. No? So question 4, sabi po niya noon, Attorney Lira, and to all viewers, I want to ask if my daughter's e-visa status showed settled, that she still need to wait 5 years before she can apply for citizenship. 2 years na lang po dito. 2 years pa lang po siya dito. Mag-18 na po siya next month. Oh, okay. In November, mag-18 na siya. When does she need to apply for citizenship? Now, I like this question simply because I was dealing with this yesterday. So, the law is under the British Nationality Act. I think it's 1981. Okay? But I do recall that the relevant section is 3.1. I don't usually remember the sections, but I was dealing with it yesterday, so I remember the section. So 3.1 of the British Nationality Act, which I think is 1981. So sabi doon, is under registration at the Home Office's discretion. Section 3.1 of Section 3.1 application. Let me just run through the issues nga, no? The points. So yun, if one parent is a British citizen or about to become one through registration or naturalization, so I'm assuming you're already British, and the other parent is a British citizen or settled, no? Kung nandito nga sila, now, and the child has been resident in the UK for the past 2 years. So you told me 2 years na siya dito. If the child is under 2, then they may accept less time than that. The child is settled in the UK, which your daughter is, and nandito nga siya, and both parents give their consent to registration unless good reasons are provided to the contrary. So kung wala naman dito ama, or then of course you probably will not have consent nga niya, and wala na siyang pakailan. For example, we were dealing with the sole responsibility issue, and there's no reason to refuse on character grounds. No, kung lahat yun, then yes, she can. Then matagal na siya dito. Well, 2 years na nga siya dito. Ang payo ko, you should do that. Well, you must do that before she's 18, because as soon as she reaches 18, she can no longer apply simply for registration. Okay, because she's under the age of 18 nga. As soon as she hits 18, then she will need to apply for what's called naturalization, in which case she will need to show 5 years total. No? So you need to do it before she's 18. Yeah, British Nationality Act, as I say, I'm pretty sure it's 1981, and it's section 3.1. So registration at the Home Office's discretion. Gusto niyo tingnan. Now, I'm sure meron pa tayong question. So tingnan ko nga. Let me see if I can just find it. Meron pa tayong question. Okay. Now, question 5, no, ang dami natin questions. Ang unmarried partner's visa, if one person only has working permit and his partner is in the Philippines, o dapat bang British o ILR? So, ang tanong nga, pwede nyo bang gamitin yung unmarried partner, no? Kahit nga hindi pa kayo British dito o hindi pa kayo indefinite leave to remain, so hindi pa kayo settled status. Yes is the quick answer, no? So nandito kayo, sabihin natin skilled worker nga kayo dito, sponsor nga kayo dito. So ang tawag nga dati work permit, but it's now called skilled worker route, no? This is actually from the Home Office website. So batas. So the definition of a partner So, yung mga taong pwede nyo dalhin nga dito as, pwede nyo sponsorin because they're your family. Even nandito kayo as skilled worker. So, hindi pa kayo indefinite, hindi pa kayo British. So, spouses, no, civil partners, or unmarried partners who have been in a durable relationship of at least 2 years. Okay? So, kailangan pakita, you don't even need to be living together, but you must be able to show that you're in a relationship like a marriage, akin to marriage, or durable relationship for at least 2 years. So kung dati nga nagsasama kayo, great, no? Kung hindi kayo nagsasama nga dati, nagpapadala ka, nakatira siya sa bahay mo, then that's still okay. That could be regarded as relationship like a marriage. But it doesn't matter kung indefinite na kayo, British na kayo, or skilled worker kayo. You can still make use of the unmarried partner route. So hopefully you can. Now, I don't know kung meron pa tayong mga greeters. Maybe not. So let me just have a quick look. Kung wala, then, oh gosh, it's also off. It's Marian, I think it's 5th year anniversary po in March 2025. My gosh. 5 years na. 5 years na tayo. Some people are don't stay married for 5 years, Marian. We've been together longer than that, actually. And I know a lot of our regulars nga, they were there from the beginning. My gosh, time goes so fast. So fast, no? Now, salamat po. It's always a blast. No? I hope it comes across. I can't emphasize enough how much I enjoy this. I hope it comes across. I really, really do. I really enjoy it, no? And I hope you do too. And more importantly, I hope you enjoy it. No? But I hope it's not boring. But more importantly, I hope it's useful. Okay. And as I say, I always try and tackle topics that are relevant, that are of most concern for from a lot of people. Oh, meron tayo. Oh, wow. Be in the kitchen. Nef G from Shropshire. I can never say that. Shropshire. Welcome. I love the picture, no? The bee. I mean, I like yellow. I like red. I like paborito ko kulay red, but yellow is stunning. Anyway, thank you very much for saying hello, being our last greeter. Salamat po. Thank you again. Thank you very much for joining me. Thank you for watching. Thank you for spending the time. And absolutely thank you for saying hello. No? Kung nanonood kayo, hindi kayo nangangamusta dahil nahihiya nga kayo, don't be shy. It's only between us. Say hello next time. So again, thank you very much for joining me at Lira and Law. Any questions po, contact us by our Facebook, email me, liraandlaw@douglas-simon.com. Visit our website for more information. Thank you po for keeping me company. Special thanks as usual po to Facebook group admins, Filipino community groups in allowing us to post our videos, contents on their group, and of course special thanks to those who have who are with me, keeping me company. Salamat po. It does not go unnoticed. Salamat po. Thank you very much. It's so great to be with you, and thank you for keeping me company. So until next time po, same time, same place at Lira and Law. See you next week.